The day it all began. Thursday, September 11th, 1997, the day I was brought into this crazy world we call life. Many people say, "Oh, you're so little, or you're so tiny," but little do they know I was born 3.5 months premature, only weighing 1 pound and 11 ounces. I was the size of a Barbie doll and could fit the length of my grandfather's hand. I was hooked up to a ventilator and incubator, and I had undergone multiple surgeries, one of which is visible right in the middle of my body just above my belly button. I was then released 4 months later, January of 1998. My mom was 16 when she had me and was a single mom for 11 years, so I grew up without a father figure. I was the little kid everybody imagined, energetic, the one who always got in trouble, played with dolls, and threw temper tantrums. As I grew older, I never really fit in with the crowd. I was more like the one that stayed by herself and was considered to be an outsider. I was the shy type. I never really talked to people unless it was family or if I knew them. It was in 4th grade when I made the cheerleading team. Cheerleading has made me the person who I am today, where I met one of my friends, Sheridan Taylor, who I've known since kindergarten. Now middle school, I had opened up a little and started to become more open and made new friends, but still didn't quite fit in. In 7th grade, my life took a toll for the worst. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was March 29, 2010. It was a normal school morning and everything was fine until my vision got blurry and I couldn't see. The next thing you know, I was on the floor, white as a ghost, unconscious. It was one of the most scariest days of my life, the day I was diagnosed with anemia. I was rushed to the ER, undergoing test after test to figure out what was wrong. They checked my iron level. It's supposed to be between 13 and 18, and mine was a 3.2. The doctors didn't understand how I was living. They told me I was an Energizer bunny. I was in the hospital for a week and received multiple blood transfusions until I was able to go home to be released. When I realized I had to stay on top of my life. 8th grade came along and I became a fish in the sea. It was time to start a new chapter in my life, high school. High school has changed me not for the worse, but for the better. High school has made me realize how many changes have really impacted my life. One of those changes would be the relationship with my mom. She never really grew up with a mother figure because her mother was diagnosed with Huntington's disease, which unfortunately has no cure. She passed away before I was born, so I never really got a chance to meet her, but I've heard multiple things about her. That's how I got the name Margaret, so she will always be with me every step I take. Now, me and my mom fight and argue constantly, and we may not have that mother-daughter bond that most kids have with their mom, but it doesn't mean she doesn't mean anything to me. She is the one who raised me, cared for me, put clothes on my back, and put a roof over my head. Sometimes I just sit and think about how we never get along, and I regret a lot of the things I've done. But like people always say, it only gets better before it can get worse. Now off to my friends. They mean so much to me. I may not have a lot of them, but I keep the ones that wanted to stay and say goodbye to the ones that walked right out. There is truly only one person who knows everything about me, all the way down to my deepest and darkest secret. That person happens to be Jalen Bradley. He is the person who has been there for me through the good times and bad. We may argue and fight, but it wouldn't be called a friendship if there were no arguments. One day you're gonna grow up and realize who your real friends truly are. The ones who stick by your side through thick and thin, the ones who came and never left. If it wasn't for those two people who I call my best friends, Mackenzie and Madison, the ones who built me and helped me become the person I am today, I honestly probably wouldn't be here today. I've been through a lot these past few months, and they are the ones who give me the strength to push harder and harder each and every day to strive to be happy. They are the ones who manage to keep a smile on my face. They are my support system and my backbone, the ones who told me to never give up, that everything is going to be okay and to just breathe. Dottie, you've always been the dancer and I've always been the cheerleader, as you always say. I've known you for about 6 years when we met in 6th grade at Johnson. It's crazy how you can go from hating the living home with someone to becoming a closest two pinky fingers joining together for a promise. You four are all I've got, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know how you did it, but you did, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I love you all. Time is coming to an end faster than we all know it. It's the time where we leave all our friends and family behind and start our next chapter in our life. College, where I'm going to the University of Louisville to pursue my dream of becoming a neonatal nurse, to give back to them for what they did for me. It's time to grow up and appreciate the little things in life before they flash before your eyes. So many things have taught me so many lessons, not only about myself, but about life. What means the most can be something so small. Even though we as people go through hardships and take on what we call struggles, never take those for granted because you never know when your last will be. You have to take things day by day and step by step, and I promise it will get better and make a change. You have to believe. Believing makes things 10 times better. Time is key to everything. Take what you've learned, put it to your knowledge, and give it all you've got because who knows when your last breath will be taken.